Hey there guys, today we're gonna talk about the combustion sorcerers. Fuck me, we don't talk about the combustion sorcerers, we talk about the fire sorcerers in general. I'm fucking retarded. This has been your boy, I don't know shit about anything but I keep talking about it. Have a good day. So first off, why would you use fire over ice or lightning since you can kill more enemies? In general, people like to start off as a cold sorceress, which is totally alright. You can farm all the content you want to, you can kill Diablo, you can get all the items you need and go mapping. However, after that, you kinda wanna switch in my opinion. Also, it might be a little bit off meta, but I personally start off as a Hydro Sorceress and I farm Mephisto all day until I find a Shaco and an Oki or whatever. And right after that, we go mapping. Hydro is a great class to start with anyway, since on low level at least, you don't need much mana to cast them all the time. They shoot a lot of fireballs, they're super strong, and it's super safe. So it might be the best build to go for the beginning. So you made your way through normal and nightmare and hell? Great. So what comes next? Well, gearing obviously. So after we did a billion Mephisto and CS runs so we get our Shaco because our RNG fucking sucks dick in this game, you'll have two options. You either go for Diablo runs and find more stuff, or we swap to Combustion and go mapping. So why can we map that early? Simple. Combustion is just broken. You stack damage as fuck. Even if your damage is only 3 or 4k, you're gonna one-shot enemies. Obviously you can get stronger later on, there can be more damage and you can kill even more enemies at once, etc, but it is super fine for the beginning. You don't have to worry about anything. However, what you want to look out for is skillers. Skillers are going to give you a lot of damage. Literally be 8 to 9k. After that we can focus on the torch. The torch is always nice, it gives a lot of stats, good damage, etc, but you don't need it in the beginning. However, if you find one early on, take it. Alright, fine, you got your basic gear going, beautiful. What next? Well, from here on onwards, it's pretty much just getting GG gears. Meaning you're gonna solo map all day, all night. Last season I soloed till 97 and I had all the gear I wanted. But since we are talking about season 5, what exactly is our gear? What do we want in the end? Well, in my opinion, it's pretty much the same as season 4. There is this new, what is it? I think it's the Mang song. Doesn't really matter which one, I'm not gonna use it, fuck that shit. Nobody's gonna touch that. It is gonna stack with an infinity, and you can pretty much break all the immunities in the game. However, I feel like we're giving up too many defensive stats, and the Phoenix is just broken as fuck, especially for fire. Minus 28 fire res, mana, life regeneration, etc, it can't be beaten. So I personally prefer to have a smaller map pool and be safe. In the end, you have to decide. I'm just spitting my opinion about this character in general. One could say that your offense is your defense as well, since life on kill and mana on kill is gonna be very good for combustion. You're gonna one-shot enemies and they're instantly gonna return your life and mana. People actually ask me a lot why I would still use mana on kill and life on kill if I have a Phoenix. And again, it's quite simple actually. Redemption takes a while to trigger. So just as a safety mechanism, we're gonna keep some life on kill or mana on kill. Actually, we keep as much as we can possibly can. Your best option for that would be Silk Reef with either cannot be frozen, more mana on kill, or life on kill slam. Rings are actually a good option to get some mana on kill and life on kill going, as they can roll both and you can slam it on it additionally. But is it best in slot to have one of these rings? No, but we'll come to that later. Let's talk about the mercenary a little bit. Which one do we like and what gear do we give to him? We are still meta slaves, so we go for the Act 2 mercenary, and in the end you want an infinity, but that's later. You may also use an Act 1 mercenary with a pus splitter to break immunities, but let's face it, it's an Act 1 mercenary, she's gonna die all the time, we don't want that, that's annoying, fuck that shit. Act 3 mercenaries can be fine with cold damage, but I still don't like it outside of vanilla content, so for now what do we use? We just want to try to focus on getting a mercenary as tanky as possible. Also, if you take a defensive mercenary from Act 2, he's always going to provide you with Fiance, which is absolutely great. It comes with flat damage reduction, defense, and percentage damage reduction. So yeah, once again, defense, nice, we need that. So what do we need? Do we need an insight? No, fuck insight. Insight is bad. The mana regeneration is not really worth it, as we are fire sorcerers and we already have a lot of warmth. And it's super weak compared to other items. You can go for any item you find if it provides enough damage. I would recommend an Obedience, it's pretty easy to build, high damage, makes your mercenary even stronger, all good, you can use that. Other than that, your mercenary needs a lot of defense, maximum res, and life leech. That's pretty much all you need for the beginning. Alright, now we're done with the basic gear. Our main weapon is gonna be in a shooters with one of these slams, either fire damage and FCR, +1 skills, or minus fire resistances. Minus fire resistances is gonna provide you with the most damage possible, but you don't have to go for that one. Other than that, we want to have 2 sockets in the thing, 2 facets, and we're good to go. Talking about helmets. There's gonna be a new helmet for fire sorcerers or fire characters in general, which is gonna be great, but it's not gonna be best in slot. Your best in slot is always gonna be Akira's, 15% by default, with 3 sockets, or 1 skill and 2 sockets. And once again, we're gonna put our fire facets in there. Now you might be asking, what about Shaco though? Shaco can be a wonderful option, especially with 3 skills and 2 sockets. However, it's not gonna be as strong as Akira's. Definitely usable. If you want to have the green thing on your head, do it. Amulets. That pretty much depends on the rest of your gear. Ideally, you want to have a Rising Sun with +1 skill, 2 fire skills, and -12 fire resistances. It's gonna give you a lot of damage. However, since you're gonna use a Phoenix, your resistances are kinda struggling, so you might wanna go for either Crafter Amulet with a lot of res and 2 skills and cast rate, or this is what I'm doing right now because I can't afford more res. Amaras with 3 skills. Our shield is gonna be a Phoenix build in an Aegis base. Why not a Monarch? Because Monarch sucks. With an Aegis you're gonna save roughly 100 to 125 points compared for a Monarch if you go max block, which you should. And as I mentioned before, your boots are gonna be Seal Grief. Since the Kira's gives you cannot be frozen already, you do not have to get it on there anymore. This is great. So you can get more life on kill, magic find, whatever it is you prefer. I go for life on kill. The belt's pretty obvious. I cannot pronounce the fucking name, so you can just look at the picture. Thanks. What about the gloves though? Well, most people are gonna use Mage Fist because 1 fire skill and cast rate. However, I recommend, as we use energy shield, Frostburn with -10 fire res and a cast rate slam. Now this one is a bit tricky. Your armor is gonna be either Atmas with 2 skills and 2 sockets, depending on your cast rate. K-Hagens with 3 skills and 2 sockets, or 2 skills and 3 sockets. Or ideally, and that's gonna be much easier next season since the ingredients are gonna drop way more often, a Declone armor. The Declone armor is pretty much best in slot, you can't beat that. It comes with mana on kill, life on kill, 50 FCR and 2 skills, and that's gonna be unbeatable in my honest opinion. It's gonna get a little bit tricky when it comes to the rings, because it pretty much depends on your armor. If you have a Declone armor, you can just go for whatever. Take a clean SOJ, it doesn't fucking matter. Same kind of goes for an Atmas. You can get 117 without having cast rate on your SOJ. But if you wanna go for a K-Hagen, what I do, you have to have cast rate on your rings. Which means it's gonna be an expensive SOJ, or BK or whatever you like. But let's face it, it's probably still gonna be cheaper than a Declone armor. However, we will see how that plays out next season. Our swap is kind of obvious, why it's not obvious. You wanna have a CTA, however you wanna build it in a staff for sorcerers. It has to come with either, or preferably both, energy shield or shiver armor. That's gonna save you a lot of skill points, especially early on, and you can max out your telekinesis, so your energy shield will always be great. So now that we're done with the gear, we can pretty much talk about our skills. The skills are pretty easy. You wanna have static fields, you cast that 2 to 3 times before you combust, and after that you spam fireball for the remaining enemies. However, if you feel like your defense is a bit low, you might use Frost Nova instead of Static Field. That's gonna give you a good defense bonus since the enemies are gonna be frozen and they're gonna attack you slower, meaning they're gonna attack you less. And if you wanna play the safest and strongest version, you go Frost Nova, Static, Combustion. However, that might be a little bit tricky as you have to push 3 buttons instead of 2. So if you have the muscle memory for it, go for it. Otherwise, just go for Static or Frost Nova. Other than that, we need to max out our telekinesis for the energy shield, and we wanna have 1 point in Shiver armor if the CTA is not providing that. 1 point into warmth is gonna be enough as we have a lot of fire skills, which is gonna boost that. So what kind of maps do we want to run actually? It's pretty simple. Our preference is gonna be jungle maps for the beginning because there's no fire immunes, they're pretty weak to fire, it's pretty great for you. After that you can add toms when you have an infinity, and the same goes for Canyon of Sheshon. There might be new options next seasons, we don't know yet, but for now this is the best options we have. There's other maps you could run, but you will run into some fire immunes, which is annoying. The Ruins map is actually not that bad either. There's almost no fire immunes, and even if there is, it's only a single mob you can just ignore. As well, the boss on this map is pretty easy to kill with Combustion. You can almost one-shot him with low gear even. Alright, that's it for mapping. Let's talk about Declone and Raphma. Can you beat those on Combustion? Yes, you can. I tried it, it's pretty hard, but doable. However, Hydra is gonna be way easier and way safer. Now, you don't even need much gear for Declone to be honest, if you're good at it. But if you're starting, you should probably get a lot of res and as much life as you can possibly get. Meaning, you wanna swap your armor for a Guardian Angel. You wanna have a slam with more max res, or 3 sockets, 2 sockets, something like that, it's gonna be fine. Now you wanna add some Vex runes in there so you get maximum fire res. Next season is gonna be max 90, so you do not have to double Vex it. You can add an O maybe. This is really up to you and personal preference. I personally do not need 90 or 95 fire res. On the screen you see right now, I beat him on, I believe, 78, 80-ish fire res, and it was alright. Now when it comes to the rest of the gear, there's many options. If you have the money, go for Phoenix. It's good damage, good max res, everything you need. Other than that, you can use a lidless or whatnot. It is really up to you in the end. Whatever you can get your hands on. You can beat it with almost any gear. If you feel like you want to practice it first, you can do Pluggy and just try it offline. It's really good. I did it for a couple of times, but you don't have to have it. It's alright to train, but not necessary. Now I could talk all day about Declone and what to do and how to move, etc, etc. However, that would be a little bit much. So if you want to learn about it, you can always ask me or watch my Twitch. I'm gonna do this almost every day and you can check it out. And if you have questions there, I'm gladly answering them. However, doing this right now or writing it down, all of this, it's gonna be enormous. Besides, it's one of these things you wanna learn for yourself. It's all muscle memory in the end. So once again, Pluggy is good for that. You can learn your muscle memory. However, there is no off-syncing whatsoever, so prepare for some different stuff online. Moving on to Raphma. The gear is pretty much the same as for Declone. The only main difference is gonna be your armor. The armor you're aiming for is gonna be a Venom Rod. If you can, you get 3 sockets in it, or maximum cold rest, maximum poison, something like that is gonna be fine. And then you wanna P-box it for 2. You can add more runes for more cold rest, you can add jars for more life, it's up to you and it's kind of preference. There is no best in slot for that really, as there's different playstyles and you have to figure it out yourself. Once you have done it a couple of times, you will know what to do. And once again, you can always ask me about the fight if you have any questions about it. However, like I said, it's better to do that on stream. It's a little bit much. Alright, let's talk about the new Uber. The new Uber should be easier, and I really don't know how it's gonna play out, if it's the easiest, the middle, or the hardest mode. But in general, you could say Hydra is gonna be good in there too, as the targets are gonna be moving, you can dodge while Hydra's attack. I guess that's the play there. The gear is gonna be just speculation, but I think I saw some fire damage in there on Senpai stream, so you might wanna stack that. Other than that, I believe there's gonna be lightning or and cold damage. And just real quick, yes, you can also do Uber Twist on with it. Hydra can beat it. Although you do not wanna fight them all at once like a Smiter does or can do. You wanna separate them and you have to have a lot of extra res, because Bale, for example, with his lower res, I think he breaks for 80, so you wanna prepare for that, otherwise he's gonna clap you. Uber Mephisto is easy to beat, however he does a lot of damage, so watch out for that. And Diablo is pretty easy. He's just a bit annoying since he has high fire res, but it's beatable. If you can get an Infinity Mercenary and keep him alive in there, he's gonna help you a lot. But if he dies, you can still beat it, so don't worry about it. Now this is pretty much all we need to know about the Fire Sorceress. If you have any suggestions or anything I should change, please let me know in the comment section or just tell me on stream. Have a good day!